Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about indicators, and first we'll cover the theory and then we'll actually look on the chart and see how you add them, and basically I'll explain a little bit more about what they sort of say. So there are different types of indicators, and the two that we're really going to cover are the moving averages one and the oscillators one. So here is the definition of a moving average. It's basically, to know this, just know this thing alone. The moving average, it's a follower, it's not a leader. So it doesn't give you an indication on what is going to happen. It gives you an indication of what has already happened. So it tells us that a trend has begun after it's already started. Now, there are certain types of averages called simple moving averages. There's also linear weighted averages, I wrote that wrong, and exponential moving averages. So let's talk about the different types of these actual moving averages. There's moving averages and there's Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands are nothing more than typically placed two standard deviations above or below the moving average. So I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And what it creates is an upper and a lower price band that kind of like encapsulates price and moves above it and below it. So these are, a lot of times they're used in conjunction with a couple other indicators for targets. So let's talk about oscillators now, and then we'll jump. Actually, let's just jump and take a look at these Bollinger Bands and the moving average. So we're on Bitcoin right here. Or I'm sorry, we're in Ethereum over here. And what we would do to add it is go here and then just look up Bollinger Bands. And let's just put the Bollinger Band in there. You can also tell it how wide you want them, anything like that. Then we were going to also pick a moving average. So you can do the average exponential or the moving average or the weighted moving average. We'll just do the exponential. And this is what they actually look like when I say that they sort of encapsulate price. So if we make this even bigger. All right, that's much better. If we make this bigger, what we're going to see is this is the moving average right here. And as you can see, it's just a moving of what the average is, and it goes along. But it follows the trend. It doesn't start the trend. So it doesn't really have any indication of when the trend is changing. But right here on Ethereum, what we're going to see is that you saw as soon as price got above this, it's more than likely to start to drop. But this actual trend is so strong, as you can see by the volume, that it just continued to go. And finally, it did hit the upper half of the Bollinger Band, and it bounced off of it and began to come back down. So a lot of times people will use this as an exit. So they see this move here, and they measure where they want to get out, and they'll get out actually on the move up, or they'll get out as soon as this shows weakness, which could be like right here. It could be moving out above the Bollinger Band, and they stay in until they see the weakness come down here, and this could have been a potential good exit right there. So I'm talking about right here when it shows weakness. Still can't get these arrows down. They don't like me very much. So, okay, that's the Bollinger Bands. Let's talk about some other types of indicators like oscillators. So with oscillators, these alert us of overbought and oversold conditions in the market, and it also warns us if a trend is losing momentum. So the types of oscillators are oscillators using two moving averages are RSI and MACD. And RSI is a momentum oscillator, and it gauges the relative strength of the actual market. And again, it signals overbought and oversold. And what that basically means is it signals the point at which the market could potentially have already reached its high, or when the market could have potentially already reached its low. And this is typically plotted on a vertical scale with values of 1 to 100, and over 70 is considered overbought, under 30 is oversold. So when you look at these numbers can kind of give you some insight as to when the market could be overbought or oversold, or meaning when it's at the top or when it's at the bottom. With MACDs, this is again using two moving averages. MACD, I must have missed out on MACD. So let's just talk about the MACD here. Give me a second to get it up. Okay, so I added it here. So the two moving averages that are here is two exponentially smooth averages. And again, I'm not going to go behind the math in this because I'm not a math person. But What the MACD stands for is the moving average convergence divergence, and I'll show what that means here shortly. And again, as I've said before, I promise to keep this simple. I'm not going to get into it and go deep into it. The simple way to know this is there's a slow line and a fast line, and when the lines cross, that's when the buy and sell signals happen. So let's look at this on the actual chart. If we go back to the Ethereum chart and we actually add the, we got the MACD already. Here is when the lines cross. And when the, and let's see if I can draw, there we go, now it should draw, okay. So, I think I have to hit it every time. That's what's kind of annoying about this. There we go, okay. So anytime they, and that there's not a crossing there, but anytime they cross, that's when there's a potential sell or buy. Its opposite holds true as well. When it crosses here, right here, it's a potential buy right here, and as you can see, it went up. Right here to sell, it slightly went down, and right here it once again crossed. Now it should draw, and once again it's a buy. So when you use these in conjunction with one another, like for example, at any point here, finally when it actually signaled a sell-off was right here when the MACD, right here when it bounced off the high. So the combination of those two is a pretty good indication to sell. And again, you're going to have to decide what you feel comfortable with. I'll show you in a future video what I do. This is the relative, so the RSI, there is that right there. Only way you can get RSI is through the actual upgrade. So I will get that next time. I typically only use the MACD and the Bollinger Bands. It's kind of the way I used to trade before. I rarely use the RSI. However, I do know it's very popular, and that's probably why they make you upgrade for that, because it is quite popular. So that's pretty much it here with indicators. Just remember there's two types. The momentum oscillators, which kind of give you an idea which way they're going. We covered those. And then the moving averages. So moving averages which show you after the fact a trend is in place. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will cover them in the future. Thanks for listening.